Hello, everyone. Peppe Merolla here, and today, Peppe Merolla and real friends, and great drummers. I'm thrilled to uh, to have my dear friend and a wonderful drummer, Mike Terrana, ladies and gentlemen. Ciao, Mike.
Ciao, Pepe. How are you?
Come
Thanks for
stai?
having me.
Come stai?
Va bene, grazie.
So, anyway, welcome to this to Pepe's live stream. It's a pleasure to have you, man. I've been checking you out for the last since we met.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm one of your biggest fan right now. I love what you do with your double bass pedal.
So right now it's you and my mom are the biggest fans.
Oh no.
That's great.
No, I really love them, man. I actually
Thank you.
before I see some people really start commenting right now.
Oh, yeah.
Here it
Well, good,
is.
good
Yeah,
comments.
yeah. But before I show the comments, I would like to, before I do that, I would like to play this little video clip of Mike,
Okay.
which is a wonderful one. I love this one. Guys, check this out. Mike Terrana. Here it is. There you go. And here we are. Where's Mike? Here's Mike. Are you there, Mike?
Hi.
Oh, here it is.
I'm
There
back.
you go.
I'm
Mike,
tired
that
after
was
watching
incredible. That
that.
was beautiful.
Oh.
Yes, we're back. that was incredible. And what I really loved it, and I told you before, uh, is the melody. Yeah, you play that ostinado stuff with your bass drum, and which is like. But what I really love is
Thank
the
you.
melody that you play on it. On the top, on the toms, and man, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
My,
Thank you.
I told you, I'm your fan. I'm one of your fan.
Thanks, Pepe. Very kind.
So, what are you up to, Mike? I'm sure a lot of people here they want to know what's going on, what's happening with you. Let me fix this camera that way they can see
Okay.
me. Okay. Okay. We got some
Well,
people.
I like everyone else on this planet has been locked in the house for a couple months.
Well,
So
join the club,
yeah,
everyone.
but
We
I
will
have
do
a
it
drum
right now.
set. I have a
Yep.
drum set, so business as usual, just practicing. And I discovered you on Facebook a couple of weeks ago. I saw you doing some exercises from Stick Control. It's like one of my favorite books to practice from. I still have this book from when I was like 21 years old, 1981.
Yeah,
Look at this. This is an ancient artifact.
that's it. That's the control. Page one.
Yeah, page one, 1981.
1981. George Lawrence Stone.
Yeah.
Actually,
So I saw you doing these exercises, and I was like, wow, this guy's kicking butt. I'm really good. So
I've been practicing, studying with. I was very fortunate. I had a couple of great teachers in Italy. Then when I came here to the United States, 1996, I hooked up and became a great friend with John Morello.
cool.
And Joe
Great drum.
Morello was one of the best George Lawrence student.
Mm,
George Lawrence Stone is the guy who wrote the book, the
right.
great George Lawrence Stone, and he dedicated accent and rebounds to John Morello.
Oh, yeah.
And I started, I went over the stuff with Joe, and he never wanted to really take lesson, give me lessons, excuse me,
Mhm.
for some reason. He said you don't need it, which made me feel good because made me feel proud of my previous teachers, from Italy. I had a great
Yeah.
teacher, Walter Scotti, which rest in peace, and Antonio Golino, both rest in peace. But yeah, and then over the years I applied those different techniques like Moller and push and pull to stick control. Plus, I came up with the idea to apply the control rebounds, the rebounds
Mhm.
control stroke.
Very good.
And I was just fooling around and said, let me see what happens if I apply this. Let's see what's going to happen. And it's working out for me. It's helping me out to play many stroke with one hand and be able to control whatever I wanted to do. So, but thank you very much for mentioning that.
Very
That means.
impressive.
No, it's yeah. See, the good news is we always have a great time to play drums, but we will never be done practicing.
That's for sure. There's always room for improvement.
I'm 50 years old and still waking up in the morning and say, "Okay, I go like this. I brush my teeth and everything. I get ready. I got my breakfast and then practice."
Yeah.
That's what we do, and then that's what makes us special. As you know, it takes a lot of hard work, to get to a certain level,
That's true.
to achieve certain things.
Yeah.
But tell us about you. I see some people here saying hi. Let's see. Can you read the comments? I'm a huge
Yeah.
fan of Mike. Love his work,
That's fine.
master playing.
Oh, thank you very much. I was only in the band for 2 years, for 2 albums and one tour. But unfortunately, when I joined the band, it was starting to fall apart. But I really like the first Master Plan record. The guy who runs the band, Roland Grappel, is a good friend of mine. He was the guitar player in Halloween, and he was kind enough to invite me to join the band. And I made 2 records with the band, and I like the music.
Yeah, his classic music, plus crazy drums, concerts are wicked.
Yeah. Well, I decided to do a record of all classical music because I wanted to do a tribute to Cozy Powell, and that was the 1812 Overture. Cozy Powell played the 1812 Overture in his drum solo, and that was like the first time I ever saw a rock drummer play classical music. I thought it was cool, so I wanted to do a rendition of that as a tribute to Cozy because he's no longer with us, and he was one of my main influences when I was a young man. So after I did the 1812 Overture, I thought, hey, it'd be cool to try to find a bunch of classical music and do a whole record. And so that was the result, the end result. I did a record called Symphonica, and then I was working with an artist by the name of Tarja Turunen, who was the ex-singer of Nightwish, and we decided she sings opera as well. She's a classically trained singer. She's got a degree in music, and she can play piano and sight read and stuff. She's just not a rock singer. And I thought, hey, Tarja, what if we did a thing where I play the classical music with the orchestra and you sing opera? So this show became The Beauty and the Beat. And we did a DVD, and Yeah, one thing leads to another. But if you would have told me 20 years ago that I'm going to play classical music with an orchestra, I would have told you you're crazy. But stranger things have happened.
Extra Leonardo. Mike is the best man. He is.
Thanks, Leo. Go tell
Uh,
the others. Go out and tell them. No.
What's happening here? Let me see. Somebody else is right. So please, guys, prepare your questions. See, the idea to this idea for me to go live stream and invite those wonderful, very talented musicians and friends, and it's to give an opportunity to a lot of you guys out there, drummers, especially drummers, musicians in general, but drummers, to be able to ask questions. Sometimes we'll go to a concert, and after the concert, yeah, you might meet your favorite drummer or your favorite guitar player. He's going to sell you a CD. Then he's gonna autograph your record, and then you don't have much time because a lot of people are there. So you leave. So the idea to be on video and live is to give you guys an opportunity to interact, ask your questions. Nothing better than, especially nowadays, I believe, in my honest opinion, the most important thing is like giving, for the upcoming musicians. Even like a little tip, a little device, advice, excuse me, little advice, experience, like for example, Mike, what do you think a drummer who wants to be a rock drummer and play your type of music, what it takes? What do you suggest? What kind of tip would you give him
Hmm.
as a drummer? What it takes
That's
to
a
be
hard question.
in the music business, to be a musician, to be a drummer?
Mhm.
What would you advise them?
Well, it's changed so much since I started. I remember when I was 16, I knew I wanted to be a professional drummer, but I couldn't tell that to my parents. No one would have understood that. That wasn't a job. There was no MTV. There was no internet. If you were it's like jazz musicians were drug addicts back then, and if you played in a rock band, pretty much you were a freak or a drug addict as well. So in the 60s and 70s, but that's what I wanted to do. So I basically just started playing in bands and playing live. But even today, that's not really possible. You see all these guys doing stuff on YouTube, trying to get out and trying to expose themselves. But it's really like a needle in a haystack. So I think when I started, uh, I had the advantage to play live. You experience playing with other musicians. Music is a social experience. Now it's like a very solitary experience. Everyone's playing alone in to tracks in their home. They don't really get together and jam. I do a lot of records now alone. There's nobody there. There's no producer. There's no engineer. So the advice I could give, getting back to the question, you have to practice for sure, and you have to develop a sense of your own style. And it's risky, that's for sure. It's exciting. You'll never have a dull moment if you want to be a professional musician.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
for
true.
yeah,
That's
it's a roller coaster ride. I'm 60 years old at the moment. I've been doing this for 40 years, and you just can never anticipate what's going to happen a couple months from now. Things could be good, things could get worse, but you ride the wave. And if you love what you're doing, you really have to love it. If you're going to play music because you want to be a rich rock star, that's the wrong way to approach this.
I was about to say, I was about to say the same thing because
Yeah,
to me, as I said in my previous videos, it's like you do it because you have to please your soul. You have
exactly.
to love what you do.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, it's not like going to school, getting a law degree,
No,
and apply for a job and make a tons of money. It's not
exactly.
about that, unfortunately.
There's no
But
guarantees.
there is no plan B, no guarantees.
That's right.
The only thing that is guaranteed to you is the happiness. You have to feed your soul,
Yeah.
practice, do it for the love of the music with pure heart,
That's for sure.
and
Yeah.
just let the music come to you and see where this beautiful and big wave is going to take you. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I don't know if you agree, but
No, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I would do this for free. I did it for free. That's how I started, And I mean, there's no guarantee that someone will give you money for your art, I guess you get to a certain point where you start to make money at it and you start to evolve as a player. Maybe it's only the past couple of years that I actually consider myself to be some kind of an artist. I think in the beginning I never thought very much of what I was doing. I was just trying to learn and make a living at it, trying to get better. But now I see that I've kind of carved out a spot for myself in the business. And that's why I respect all the other drummers too. I respect anybody that can find a spot and actually make their way in this business, because it's really, really difficult. And not just in the music business, in any kind of art form,
anyway,
It's
Mike, we got a dear
competitive.
friend of mine, and he's like one of the world class drummer, the great Ramon
Uh-huh.
Montanier. You know Ramon Montanier?
Don't know him, but hi, Ramon. How are you?
Ramon Montanier is the one who, first of all, he's from Brazil,
Uh-huh.
and he's
Oh,
been playing, all over the world. And he's the guy that took the push and pull technique to the next level.
oh, wait a second. I think I know this man now that I look
Yeah.
closer. I know who he is. I've seen some
Now
videos.
he's like giving me out that we're beautiful, we're friends.
He's very good.
When I see his videos, I feel like, okay, now he's playing with 4 sticks, and then he plays with 5 sticks. I
Uh-huh.
hate you, Ramon. I hate you. No, Ramon is a fantastic drummer, great technician, great musician, and eventually he's going to also be on the show. We already talked
Pretty
about it.
cool.
And
Yes.
thanks for tuning in. And I guess he right here. Hi, Mike. I love your drumming.
Thanks, Ramon.
Yeah.
Cachaça.
See, it's
I
not
love Brazil.
not only your mom. It's Ramon. It's me. Your mom. Jill.
It's growing. It's growing. But yeah, I've seen Ramon. I've seen Ramon playing in some videos on YouTube. Nice to
Yes.
meet you. I'll check him out. I'll check out some more of him. But I thought, yeah, his hand technique is amazing. But
Yes.
there's a lot of great drummers in Brazil. Have you ever been to Brazil, Pepe?
No, I have never been to Brazil. No.
You need to go there
But I
because
know a
it's
lot of,
really great.
in New York for a long time. I met a lot of musicians from Brazil, from Cuba, and they're amazing. They are
Yeah.
amazing.
It's in the
Yeah, I
blood.
agree.
What's this guy asking me? How's
Keep updated with the music industry and the current social media era.
yeah.
I guess that's for you, Mike.
Yeah. Well, it's been a big change. I mean, we didn't have social media in the 70s, thank God. But now everything is being documented. I'd have to say it's a pretty crazy cachaça. It's a learning curve.
So what does it mean?
Cachaça is an alcohol that's made from sugarcane, and it's inside the caipirinha. Have you ever had a caipirinha?
No.
Pepe, come on, man.
Yo, I'm Italian, man. I'm Italian.
Ramon, will take you for some cachaça. It's very good. It's a great drink. It's like a mojito, but better.
Oh,
But
I
Brazil-
love cognac. I love wine. Beers.
Grappa,
Oh man, grappa is like
limoncello.
limoncello. But I like a grappa better.
Yeah,
I remember one time. Check this out. It's unbelievable, Mike. We did this gig in Napa Valley, California.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, and we did the opening with my jazz trio. Excuse me, with my jazz for George Benson.
Mm-hmm.
So we play and everything, after the show. This guy, which was Del Dotto Winery. So he loved jazz music. He's a jazz lover. So, Napa Valley, billionaire. So the guy called George Benson Band, a jazz quintet for his daughter's wedding.
Cool.
So to make a long story short, after the show, he take us he took us under the cellar
To the wine
in his
cellar.
own private cellar, old marbles.
Mhm.
And he said, first of all, he was serving Gaia wine each table. Like I'm talking about, each Gaia bottle of wine is like $1,000 right there. Each one of the tables, more than 150 tables, Gaia wine for everyone. at, the, at the end, he was like, "Hey, you want? Are you ready to go up to the next level?" I said, "Yeah." So he took me to his private cellar, and he was like, "Here, I wanted to save those," and he got this little box with three different grappa, little bottles of grappa. There's a three type of grappas: white, yellow, and pink.
Yeah.
So we drank the whole thing.
Mhm.
We drank the whole thing. The day after, no headache, no hangover. And that night, I got myself in the car, even though he invited me to stay over to his guest house. I drove back to San Francisco. That was 1997. Back to San Francisco, no problem. Incredible. Anyway,
Sometimes it's good to be a musician. The perks of a musician.
yes, sometimes it's nice to be a musician because we can live the
Get
life of the rich people, but
get some
we
good
don't
drinks.
have that money.
Yeah.
Ramon, Mike, and then let's see other questions. Somebody's here asking you a question. Actually, who's this now? Um, Hello, Mike. Have you been stick control with your feet?
Yes, I tried this. I do. Not all the exercises are good for the bass drum.
I agree.
I'm not a guy that's doing double strokes on the bass drum too much. But if you want to if you want a good book for the bass drum, do you know this guy, Colin Bailey?
Yeah,
Colin Bailey bass drum control. There's Colin Bailey.
yeah.
This guy wrote this book. There's a lot of great exercises in here, and he really plays fast with his heel down. He's a jazz drummer, but
I met him.
find
He's still alive. He's still alive.
yeah, he's still alive, and he's living in San Francisco. I think he's up there in the Bay Area. He's a really nice man. When I did my double bass, I did a video called Double Bass Mechanics or whatever, and I asked Mr. Bailey if I could use some of his exercises. And he said, yeah. So I played some of the stuff in the book. And I got turned on to the book by Steve Smith, who's probably played through every book because he's a very schooled drummer. But stick control is good for double bass. Some things. I'm also making up my own exercises. Some things that help me get through problems that I have when I'm recording. As a matter of fact, currently I'm working on a record with a Norwegian artist, and it's very, very fast 16th note double bass drum, 175, 180. It's really hard to play this consistently when you have a microphone inside the bass drum. It's more like a sport, So
Now, I got a question for you. I'm sorry if I interrupt you, otherwise I forget.
problem.
Now, I did play double bass drum, occasionally.
Mhm.
But I find out, and I'm pretty fast with one pedal.
Mhm.
But then, when I bought this double pedal, I set it up and I was start working on it. I went through a few exercises and stuff, try to figure out some good exercise to get my left foot going.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I got to a certain, tempo, speed, I was doing it not anymore with my feet like that, but the whole leg was going like this. Is that normal? Or it's wrong? It's right.
It's kind of normal in the beginning. I'll tell you what, I don't think there's any right or wrong technique. For me personally, I play heel up. And when I was younger, I was using more leg. But as I got older and I refined my technique, I started to use the ankles more. Okay. And there's a lot of guys out there now that are doing, swivel technique, and they're playing at 200 and over BPM. But I'm kind of an old school guy. I play heel up. But I just noticed that it doesn't matter how you look when you're playing, what it looks like, just as long as you can play it. Everyone's like, well, should I play traditional or should I play mash? Who cares? It's how you feel good. If you can play everything,
like it's okay.
Whatever. Whatever. I remember years ago, I saw the Rolling Stones and I saw Charlie Watts playing like this. He he always stopped when he hit the snare drum, and I was like, that's not right. But he was doing it because they didn't have gates back then in the 60s. So he didn't want the hi-hat to bleed into the snare mic. And it's actually hard to play like that. But when I was a kid, I didn't understand it. I thought, that's wrong. You should keep going. So he's Charlie Watts. I think he did pretty good. So, like I said, it doesn't, your technique, I think it's sometimes when you work on things, problems, it doesn't really matter how you solve the problem, just as long as you solve it. So I have a strange technique. There's other guys out there doing like swivel techniques and stuff. For me, I can't learn it because it's like it would take too much time to change my style. So I'm pretty much stuck in my own thing,
Yeah, of course. No, I wanted to ask you that because
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people find themselves in the same situation.
Yeah.
And since I do not use the double bass pedal all the time,
Yeah.
also because the genre, the style I play, which is
Yeah.
jazz fusion, that kind of thing. But jazz bebop, especially lately, I'm doing bebop, and
Cool.
so to me, it's like every time I set it up and I work on stuff, it feels great. But then when I get to a certain point that I'm playing all the stuff and I try
Yeah.
to get to 16 notes going, I
Yeah.
feel like "Man, my legs are going like this. I play with my leg, and I feel
Yeah.
like, do I play with my leg when I play with one pedal? That's the question I asked myself, and I said no.
There you
So
go.
now I'm thinking maybe I'm doing something wrong. That's why I wanted to ask you because
Well, I'll tell you something. One thing that I did, if you're a single bass drum player and you go to double bass, it's almost like you're riding a unicycle. There's a balance thing that you have to get used to because a lot of guys that play single bass, they're anchoring on the hi-hat, even though the hi-hat they're using it, it's going up and down and keeping time. When you go to two bass drums, you kind of have to relearn some things, and you have to teach what your right foot knows to your left foot. It's the same thing when you play with your hands. The left hand is, if you're right-handed, your left hand is normally weaker. So I spent a lot of time doing that. It takes a lot of time, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not really a big fan of going I like to play more broken patterns with double bass and use them in a fill.
Yeah, also I like the kind of like the ostinato that I was telling you about, that video that I
Yeah.
posted on my page, that ostinato thing. Man, that's beautiful, man. It's
Thank you.
yeah.
I can't take credit for that because I'm a big Terry Bozzio fan.
I can
I
tell.
saw
I related to that. As soon as I heard it, that says, okay, that's we might be influenced by Terry.
I saw Terry Bozzio play live with his band Missing Persons in 1981, and he destroyed my mind. After that, I said, I really want to be a drummer because I loved his showmanship. I loved his style. I like the way he attacks the drums. And of course, he went on to do a lot of things with that ostinato. He's really deep what he's doing. So I'm only scratching the surface, but that was very inspirational. He was a big inspiration for me to start doing that stuff.
Terry Bozzio, man, I love him. All the work that he did. Oh,
He's a
man.
genius. I think Terry Bozzio is a genius. He can really play anything. A lot of people don't know now because he does a lot of solo drum music, but he can play straight ahead jazz. He can play metal. He can play
Yeah.
pop. He can play fusion. He can cover it all. He's really a very good drummer.
I also love the way he orchestrates, on the drums, the composition.
Yes, he's what's the classical composer that he's into? Sorry, I can't remember now. He's very inspired by one classical composer, and I can't remember the name. It's not Tchaikovsky. It's another guy. It'll come to me.
There's Rox Figura Rox from Italy. He's up in Catania, Sicily.
Oh,
Figura,
nice.
he's the drummer. Very, very happy to see you guys both together. That's nice. Rock's best to the family. Much love to your brother, everyone in the family. Thanks for tuning in. So, guys, if you guys have any other questions, please let us know. What is your practice time per day? Oh.
Well, when I'm home and not touring, about 6 hours a day. And I try to break it up because
Hello. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking to somebody. You said hello. Hello, is it me you're looking for?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm practicing about 6 hours a day. I break it up with different stuff. And actually, you're not going to like this, Pepe, but I play jazz, but I play it alone. No one sees me play jazz, but I practice jazz because it's really, I think it's good for my independence and it's good for my touch. But I'm a horrible jazz drummer.
no, man,
I've been
no,
on page 1 of this book for about 2 months, but I don't care. It's fun.
no, I don't believe so. I don't think so. I
I'm on,
believe that the fact that you're playing jazz at home and search
play
for
it at home.
things.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's like I love it. You won't
I'm
believe
on
it.
page 1. I'm on page 1 of this book for about 2 months. I'm down here.
Is that a Jim Chapping? Which one is that?
Yeah, it's Jim Chapin.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Gary Chafee. Gary Chafee, sorry.
Yeah.
It's a really good book.
A book that you might know exactly. I'm sure you have it. Syncopation.
Yeah, I haven't. Ted Reed, Syncopation. I haven't gone through that. I know Basio swears by that book.
Yeah, it's a
But
great one. There's many ways to execute that book, many different ways. But you can turn that book into a rock, metal, jazz.
Crazy.
That book is
I should get that book, but I guess it's like playing a pattern and then reading all the stuff for the left hand or the foot or whatever, right?
it starts with the
Crazy.
with the swing with the right hand,
Mhm.
for a note, 8 notes that at 16, which that's the bit you see like the Jim Sheving book.
Yeah.
It's a great book. I had the pleasure to meet Jim Sheving. It's a great book, but for a lot of people they get confused. Jazz music, the jazz symbols, the right symbols, is not just quote unquote
No.
8 notes that is 16. It's not just
deeper than that.
The bass player is not playing ding 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 ding. The bass player is bouncing. He's like ba-dum, ding 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 boom boom. So automatically, the right symbols for the beginners, out there, the people who are listening right now, if you guys are a beginner, follow this fraction if you have Jim Shevin. But then realize one thing that's very important. That's the basic pattern of the right symbol. But then it's all different ball game when you go play jazz music.
Oh yeah.
So because the symbols is about, it's like, the bouncing balls, the quarter note, when you play basketball, it's like bouncing balls. Ding, 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 ding. That's what it is. So anyway, you can, start doing it with the jazz feel, with the right cymbals, hi-hat on 2 and 4. Then you play the melody with the left hand.
That's
Then,
what I do.
yeah, and then they also have this other way to keep the same thing, right cymbals, hi-hat on 2 and 4.
Yeah.
In 2 and 4, and then play the quarter note with the bass drum and the 8 notes with the snare, or vice
the
versa.
hi-hat. Yeah.
Vice versa. Then you can add the variation with the hi-hat. Then, if you have a double bass drum, you can also add the double bass drum playing the triplets, 16 notes triplets.
Gets crazy.
And then ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
and with the left hand, you start reading the melody. And once you read the melody on the snare drum, then you start, orchestrating that same melody on the whole set. So which it comes out, and then see, that's the beautiful thing about stick, notation.
It gets really crazy and complicated. It's very deep. I'm just scratching the surface for myself, but I don't know if you've ever seen this Buddy Rich video that Don Lombardi from DW Drums released. It's a TV show that Buddy Rich recorded but was never released, and Don Lombardi bought the rights to it. And there's super slow motion cameras on Buddy Rich's hands. And it's crazy because the right cymbal and the left hand, they're doing different things and they don't repeat. And then you start to really realize what a genius this guy was. It's like he's not playing bang, spang-a-lang, spang-a-lang. There's a lot of things going on, and the left hand is dancing, not repeating.
Yeah,
there's no mistakes. It's really crazy. So, you have to start somewhere. For me, as a rock drummer, I just like to try to get the 3-way coordination going. And I think when you play stuff that's kind of like out of your realm, you come back to rock or whatever, and you feel better. You feel more solid. That's why I do it. I kind of torture myself with this jazz.
But it's not. See, the thing is, I don't see it in that way. I believe that when we face something that our brain and our body is not used to it,
Yeah.
because so in other words, what I'm trying to say is, as more as we push ourselves to the on the edge to the limit, to push ourselves to get better, the better it is when you go back and play maybe stuff that you really you have been playing for a long time.
That's
And
what
we
I mean.
the whole thing and will get us better, move forward. You
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
that's
Yeah.
somebody else is writing. Guys, any questions? Any other questions? Where is it? Oh, Ramon, I think Ramon left. Okay, Ramon. And so, do you? You said the other day you were telling me that you recording, you're making a record.
Yeah, I'm recording a lot here in my house.
No, you said, Pepe, I've been in the studio for the last 4 days playing for 180 BPM, 16 note with my double bass drum.
Yeah, it's been very challenging. I actually developed a system for warming up before I started to record, because if you try to sit down and play at 175 BPM cold, your legs but you start flamming, and then you can't record. So I developed a system with the metronome where I start at like 170 between triplets and 16th notes. And then I gradually go up and I go beyond the tempo that I'm going to record at. Eventually I'm maybe at 180, and I play in short spurts, eighth note triplets and 16th note runs. And then I come back to the tempo that I'm going to record at, and then I start recording. So I'm already dripping with sweat. I'm warm. It's like a sport, man. It's I have to say, it's really not easy. It's challenging for sure. And then I'm trying to make it swing. I'm trying to make it musical, not just a machine. And you can program it on a drum machine. Then what's the point? So it was.
So, I got another question that people might love to hear that, because see, this live stream is going to stay on my page. Plus, it's going to be also, it is live right now also on YouTube. But it takes 24 hours for YouTube to upload the live stream. So right now we are live on YouTube as well, but it takes 24 hours for YouTube to keep it there. So I'm sure people eventually they're gonna enjoy this question. It's like they want to know more, like, how did you start it? You were living in LA. Where were you born? What did you do? What it took you to Los Angeles? I know you were in LA for a while,
Yeah.
and then now you're living in Europe.
Yes.
So tell us about about what's happening.
Well, it all started back in 1960, Pepe. I was born in Buffalo, New York in 1960, and started playing drums at the age of 8. My uncle gave me my first drum set, my Uncle Phil, God bless him. And I was playing in the basement to Beatles records, like a lot of guys start, and then I started playing in bands around the Buffalo, New York area. And then we started playing in Albany and Schenectady and Toronto, Canada, all over the place with my band. And at that point, I was like 19, 20 years old. And then I got into a band that had a record deal from Canada called Hanover Fist. And I lived in Toronto, Canada for 2 years. And at that point, I was 20, 23, 24 years old. And I came back. The band, we did a tour with a band called Saxon. We were the support act for like 3 months. And then the band got dropped from their record deal. So that was my first experience with a live tour and a recording act. You go up and then it's over. So you have to find another band. And I played in some cover bands for a while in New York, saved up enough money, and I went to Los Angeles in 1987. I was 27 years old when I went to Los Angeles. And from there, I hooked up with different artists like Tony McAlpine. I played in some glam metal bands like Bo Nasty. I played with Yngwie Malmsteen. In 1994, I toured the world with Yngwie. I was living in Miami for 2 years. And then in 1997, the heavy metal market kind of bottomed out because Nirvana came in, Soundgarden, all the grunge bands came in and kind of wiped out this, hair metal. whatever, heavy metal. So I moved to Europe in 1997, and I was in Holland for 1 year. Then I lived in Germany for 10 years. I lived in Copenhagen, Denmark for a couple of years, and currently I'm living in Tuscany, Italy. So I've been in Europe for 20 years.
That's wonderful, man. That's wonderful. So, and in LA, I mean, it took, a lot of, well, you made a great decision, I guess, because especially the style of music that you're playing in Europe at the time when you left LA was still happening in Europe.
Yeah, I got lucky. It was good timing. Yeah, heavy metal was alive and well in Europe, and it was totally dead in America. So,
and let's see. Oh, here somebody else is asking me a question.
The Cozy Powell birthday bash. Oh, thank you, Paul. Yeah, it was really a pleasure for me to play at the Cozy Powell birthday bash because I'm a big fan, and we actually play on Cozy Powell's drum set. I believe it's the drum set he used in the 1984 Slide It In tour. So we're actually, I grew up listening to Cozy Powell, and now I'm playing Stargazer, which is one of my favorite songs that Rainbow did, and I'm playing it on his drums. So I guess everything kind of came full circle, but I really love Cozy Powell. And I can tell you, Paul, that drum set is not easy to play. The hi-hat is way over here. All the cymbals are spread out, but the drum set is set up just the way Cozy played it. And so you have to sit down, and the two rack toms are 16, 16, 18, 18. The first two rack toms are 16, 26-inch bass drums. They're wide open. I mean, it's crazy. It's a crazy drum kit. It's very powerful and very loud. So, you get on that kit and you sound like Cozy. It's cool. And I think it's nice. I think it's nice that they do that tribute for him because he was a legend and he was a great drummer and he was very influential. His style was very influential to a lot of young drummers.
Let's see somebody else, bro. You're amazing, man. Yeah, he is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Now, who's your favorite drummer?
That's a hard question to ask. I'll tell you something. When I was a kid,
let's put it this way: who you listen to?
Who do I listen to now? Well, basically, I listen to just about anybody. But there's some new. You want to know like the new guys that I watch?
Anything. Like if you ask me, I would say, my favorite drummers, and I start mentioning starting from Art Blakey to Elvin Jones to Buddy Rich to Art Taylor or whatever until nowadays. I will start saying that those are the people that I listen to and those are the people that I love. Okay. That inspires me.
John Bonham.
That's it.
Neil Peart.
Yeah.
Terry Bozzio. I have to say Peter Criss from Kiss. I was a big Kiss fan. I know a lot of people don't think he's a very complicated drummer, but he actually played some really cool stuff with Kiss. He was part of that chemistry.
Yeah.
Then I went on to get into other styles of drumming. I remember I saw Weather Report in 1977. It was Peter Erskine on drums. I was very impressed with Jocko on bass.
Alex Acuna, both of them.
Yeah, amazing. Then going towards the modern time, I love Simon Phillips. Simon Phillips is amazing. Terry Bozzio, I love Terry Bozzio. I'm a big fan of Dave Weckl, Vinnie Colaiuta, Dennis Chambers. Kenny Aronoff is a great drummer.
Yes.
Of course, Buddy Rich, Louis Bellson. I like Louis Bellson. I also like a drummer by the name of Irving Kotler. Do you know who he is?
No.
Irving Kotler was Frank Sinatra's drummer. This guy is amazing. This guy really has a beautiful swing feel. Very sparse player. Check out Irv Kotler. Yeah. So most metal guys would not know about Irv Kotler, but I'm listening to all kinds of music. So I like Irving Kotler. I respect him very much. Then getting into the newer guys, I really like Gavin Harrison. He's really a beautiful drummer. A lot of nice chops, beautiful, clean technique. Lately, I've been watching and listening to Vinny Colaiuta.
Well, Vinny, I've been watching
He's
him
pretty good.
for a very long time.
He's
You know,
crazy.
when I was, yeah, he,
Crazy.
I mean, Vinny, he has a great technique,
A
and
beautiful, beautiful drummer.
and wacko at the same time. Especially when
Yeah.
they, when I was living in Italy, I was at the time, I think I was 16 years old, and I was still living in Italy, and the great Buddy Rich Memorial.
That's a great show when they all play together.
That was the introduction in Europe, I guess. Yes,
Crazy.
I know that Wacko was playing with Chick Corea Electric Band, and Vinny was already doing some gigs with Chick Corea. Yes, but the exploit, the bomb explode when the Memorial Scholarship concert with Buddy Rich Memorial with Master, the great Steve Gadd.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I love Steve
Steve
Gadd.
Gadd. To me, technically speaking, and also as the drumming altogether, the reason why, if you analyze what Vinny is doing and what Dave Weckler is doing, Steve Gadd is responsible for that.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that the first video I ever saw was Steve Gadd. That's the first instructional video I ever saw.
Steve Gadd was responsible for all that stuff.
Yeah, he's a great drummer. I want to tell you one thing. I don't know if you heard of a record called Rock Swings by Paul Anka. Have you ever heard this record?
No.
It's all rock songs sung by Paul Anka. I think he's a really great singer and songwriter. And it's with a swing band, okay, playing Holy Diver by Dio, Van Halen, Jump, all these rock songs, pop songs with a swing. And the drummer, I was listening to this, and there's a swing version of The Way You Make Me Feel by Michael Jackson. And there's some drum breaks in the middle. And I'm sitting listening to this with headphones, and I go, who is this? Who is this guy? This is crazy. Because I just had a bootleg of this record, I found out it was Vinny Colaiuta.
Oh, yeah.
And amazing.
Sure they did a lot of jazz version of The Way You Make Me Feel and all those people. I Feel Good in the jazz. The way you make me feel.
Oh, yeah. He killed it. I mean, he's on the whole record. You have to listen to it. I think you'll enjoy it because they really do beautiful arrangements. And that the band is amazing. I don't know. They must have some guys from the Buddy Rich band in there too. These horn players are tight as hell. It's incredible. But Vinny Colaiuta, you can hear him really. I think that guy can play anything, man. He just sounds so authentic.
Vinny is very versatile. He can play any style of music, and big band, the quartet.
Probably the best guy out there at the moment. One of the best out there.
Oh,
genius.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been like that forever. I remember, when, again, I was 16, 17 years old, and I used to look at, watch and study those guys, man. There's, yeah. Vinny,
he talks about, if you listen to Frank Zappa stuff, Joe's Garage, he's reading that stuff. He's reading it and playing it in real time with tape. One take, these guys are not messing around. They're playing in one take. Same thing with Jeff Porcaro. If you listen to a lot of interviews with Jeff Porcaro, he's also one of my favorite drummers. He's got just a beautiful feel, very relaxed, a good sound.
Yeah.
Amazing. There's just so many fantastic players. I can't name them all, but
what do you think about Greg Bissonette?
I love Greg Bissonette. He's got a great sound. He's got a great feel. And I just watched one of his videos on beginning jazz drumming, and he really gets rid of a lot of the mysteriousness of jazz.
That's true.
He talks about the ride cymbal being the meat and potatoes of the jazz, the spang-a-lang. Yeah, Greg Bissonette is a great drummer, and he's a great person. One of the nicest people I ever met out in Los Angeles. He actually tried to help me. He helped a lot of drummers out there. Do you know the Woodland Hills Drum Club with Basio and Mark Craney? Do you know Mark Craney?
No.
He played with Gino Vanelli for many years. Jethro Tull, he's no longer alive. He's an amazing drummer. I can send you some links of Mark Craney. But they
Yeah.
did a benefit from our community. Myron Grombacher from Pat Benatar. So all these guys were hanging out. Greg was like the leader of the Woodland Hills Drum Club. Nice.
Oh.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
well, I met him. He's a great guy and he's a wonderful
Yeah.
drummer. And he's
Yes,
also
he is.
very versatile.
Yeah.
He can play all different style of music, big band,
And he
like
can play
jazz,
anything.
music.
Greg
and-
is, yeah, Greg can play anything. That's for sure. He's a schooled musician, but he's got a wide vocabulary, and he's really he knows music. He's natural. He's got the education, but he's able to put all that together. I also like Rod Morgenstein. You like Rod Morgenstein?
Yes. Yes.
He's a great guy as well. We became friends when he was playing with Winger. You remember this rock band Winger? But when I was down in Miami, they were rehearsing next to us. So I used to hang out with Rod. We used to go to Denny's and tell jokes and talk about drums. Huh?
I love Dennis.
Yeah, man. I love Denny's too. And now,
2 o'clock in the morning, they're still open. Get a
now
nice
that I'm 60, if I'm 60, I'm 60 years old now. I can go to Denny's and order the senior citizen special.
Well, Mike,
This is good.
Really no, I know, but guess what? You
What?
look amazing. I wish,
God bless you, Pep.
I'm 50. You're only like 9 years older than I am.
I turned 60 in January.
But, well, God bless you. 100 years, my friend.
Thanks.
With healthy and happiness and
Thank
lots of success because,
Thanks, Pepe.
you really deserve about healthy, the first thing. Healthy and
Yes,
low.
for sure.
That's so what I was about to say. I wanted to thank you for your time. No, really. I really wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart, man,
Thanks,
for
Pepe.
your time to be part of this and to support this idea. And I really hope that next time I'm going to be in Europe, once we can travel again,
Yeah.
finally be able to. And I hope when I get to Europe, I hope you might be on break, in between break,
Call
that we
me.
can get to, I will call you, that we can
We'll go for a pizza.
No, man, pizza in Naples, margherita in Naples, man, a pizza napoletana. But we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna go out to dinner and have some nice You like seafood?
I don't eat that seafood. Sorry, I'm a vegetarian. So boring.
So no. Guess what?
What?
So can you eat pizza then? You can eat pizza.
Sure, I can eat pizza. I'm not vegan. I'm vegetarian.
Oh, okay. So that's good. Okay,
I
good.
couldn't be vegan. That's crazy. No, it's too hardcore.
I
It's
will
hard to
go-
be vegetarian when you're on tour. I eat meat when I'm on the road because it's impossible, really.
I bet.
Everyone thinks you're a pain in the ass. Can I have a salad? Oh, the vegetarian guy wants a salad. Here's some meat. Now eat that meat and shut up. Okay.
Well, again, anybody else, guys? Any other questions? Well, I think we answered everyone.
We covered it all, Pepe.
Yeah, we did. And I really wanted to thank you one more time.
Thank you.
And let's keep in touch. I love your drumming. Thank you for doing this. Let's keep in touch. And hopefully we're going to meet in Italy. Or if you ever come to California, you better call Pepe.
Yeah, come for the NAMM show sometimes. You go to the
Are you
NAMM.
coming in January?
See you there. Oh, I don't know about this. Maybe this January I would come. I don't know if they're going to have it. You think they're going to have it?
I think they're going to have it, but where everybody's going to wear masks.
Yeah.
I guess.
People
But anyway.
are wearing masks. In Los Angeles, people have been wearing masks for years.
Welcome to LA.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Nothing new there.
No, okay. No, let's be okay. Let's say this, and then we're done. Okay, it's a little thing. So, I was in LA playing with a band,
Yeah.
and there was this guitar player. This guitar player showed up when I arrived for this festival, and he was like, I was just arrived with the car driving from San Francisco. I drove down there. I went to the hotel. I changed, and I went out to dinner with my friends. So this guitar player came and to the table, hey man, singing hello to everyone, and then my friend says, "This is Peppe Merolla," oh yeah, man, Peppe, yeah, man, you sounded great last night. I
I
said, "I
wasn't
just
here
got
last.
here, man. I didn't play yet." And my friend said, "Welcome to LA."
Yeah.
But not
This,
everybody's like that, though. There's some wonderful
no,
people
not everybody, but
in
the
LA,
thing is,
good people
the,
from all over the world, in LA.
yeah, there's a lot of people out there, and everybody's trying to grease the palm out, rub elbows, and network and whatever. After a while, you get tired of it. You just get tired of it. But
You just want to get real. That's what it is.
yeah, but
Let's get real.
what I liked about the NAMM show was it always fell around my birthday. So I would have those 3 or 4 days. It would be my birthday. I'd see all my friends, and you'd look at all the drums. For me, it was paradise.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like Frankfurt too. That was just paradise when you're a young guy to go there and look at all that stuff
I
and
know.
touch it, play it.
I know. That's like we never grow up, don't we?
No, I don't want to grow up. Being a grown up sucks.
Hey, but guess what? If you
What?
ever come to the NAM show, you can also maybe fly to San Francisco.
Yeah.
And then from here, we're going to go. I don't know if you saw my ride. I love sports car.
What do you
So
got?
we'll drive to NAM. You can spend a couple of days here in San Francisco with Pepe. And then we drive to the NAM show and then drive back. And then you can fly back to Europe from San Francisco.
Pretty cool. I can take some lessons.
Oh, please. Yeah, you can teach me stuff.
No, I don't want to
You
teach.
can show me
I could do some stick control technique. Why not? Let me tell you something about stick control. I wanted to say this before, but when I was a kid, I didn't understand the book. I didn't understand how it was supposed to be used. I didn't know that Gladstone and Moeller and all these guys were together, and you were supposed to be using this push-pull Moeller technique. Now I understand it. It makes the book makes more sense.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not just about. I know people that they, great drummers that they don't know about push and pull.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's just like another way to practice. Now, if you get it, and if you get it, and you are in command of that specific technique, you can use it. But it doesn't, if you don't know about push and pull or Moeller technique, my honest opinion is like, well, you don't need to know push and pull or Moeller technique to be a great drummer, But if you have it, you use it musically, you add it. It's an extra gears for us, you're like a fifth gear, boom.
Yeah.
You drive away, you drive off,
But when I was a kid and I started going through the book, it was like, okay, play 4 notes really fast with one hand. And I'm like, well, that's crazy. How should I do that so fast? So it took time. It took years. You know that guy?
No.
He said hola. Maybe he's Spanish.
Hola. Hello? So, Jonathan, where are you writing us from?
He's from Spain. Yeah, Pepe is a master of stick control.
Yeah.
Angelo Calabrese.
Another
paisan.
Yeah, he's from Naples, Italy.
Cool. Pepe, did you know that Steve Gadd is half Sicilian?
Oh yeah, I don't know if you know. I don't know if I told you that, but
True.
As you know, I love Steve Gadd. That's one of my.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love Steve Gadd.
And I met him. And the funny thing is that him and his wife, 2 wonderful people, and his full name is Stefano Gaddoni. Stefano Gaddoni, Steve Gadd.
Cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was his full name.
Yeah,
also, Louis Belson is Italian as well. He's got like 20 names. I can't even remember all his names, but he's got a lot of names. I'm also half Sicilian.
You are? Terrana.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm myself from New York, Spanish roots in between. Okay.
Hello. Spanish. He's from New York.
Cool. We got some other people saying hi. Hello from Indiana.
Hello, Ronnie.
What's happening, Ronnie? Hello. Thanks for watching. Please, guys, if you guys are enjoying those stories, if you guys love what we're doing right now, share this video on your page, because we're doing this for the love of the music, to help the upcoming musicians, and it's free. So share the video, because the music is about share. It's like a religion. Share the words, okay, of music all over the place. This is a great opportunity for anyone, from including myself, to be able to be in company of dear friends and great musicians with a lots of experience, that their words are not coming from reading stick control. Their words are coming from experience, being on the bandstand with great bands, and that's the real music lessons. I know a lot of people that they practice books day by day, 5 hours a day. They develop this fast technique. Then they get on the bandstand, they can't play. And the reason for that is because they forget with what the most important thing is, which is to please the music, not only the book, but you have to listen to the arrangements. You have to listen to the music. You have to memorize the arrangement, the sound. And if you're lucky enough, go to the club and meet your best, your hero, your musician. Go watch them, because there is a big difference, a huge difference between listen to a record at home and when you go to the club and you actually see what is he doing there.
That's for
Because
sure.
sometimes from the record you feel like, wow, this is too hard. Then you go to the club, you look at what he's doing live, you just get your first chair right there, you just look at him like, okay, and that will answer your questions. Sometimes stuff that we think that is so hard, is so complicated, when you see a live executing from the musician live, that will give you answer. That's sometimes it's a lot simple, than what we think it is.
Mhm. It's inspirational as well.
Bravo,
You watch
bravo.
other people play live,
Roberto
you get other
Capitano.
ideas.
Ciao Roberto. Well, please share. And Mike, did you eat tonight?
No, I'm about to eat. Maybe I'm going to have some pasta with pesto.
Bah, see, that's beautiful. To me,
Yeah,
next time when we have pasta pesto, I can have that. I love that. I
I can
cook.
eat pasta with pesto every day. I basically eat it every other day. I love it. I love pasta.
Well,
Yeah.
buon appetito, my friend.
Grazie
I
mille.
love you. I love your drumming. Thanks for doing this, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks,
Please,
Pepe. Thank you so
guys.
much for
Mike
inviting me.
Terrana. Ciao.
Ciao. Buonanotte.